So Godson, please is going to be taking us on the creative process behind the wall. I think I'd already made an introduction before, but Godson is the beautiful mind behind Catharsis. He's also a writer, a fashion editor, and a culture producer. So please, Godson, you have the floor.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, I think it's clear
Godson.
right now. Can you hear me? Is it clear?
Yes, 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 I can hear you.
I'm trying to upload my slides as well. Can you help me with that?
Well, you can share directly from your screen, from your system.
How do you
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
can I hear you properly? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
I said I want to share my screen.
Okay.
I need help with that.
There's a share. I think if you try to share, it should give you. It should ask.
Okay, okay. Okay. It's saying to. Give me like a minute
Okay.
um to get this done. I think I've shared the screen. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think we're good now.
Yes. Good. 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 Good.
All right, all right. Okay. Apologies for the slight delay. I had to go to system settings and do some IT work.
Yeah.
And
Zoom is fun like that. So no problem.
I didn't hear you say what?
I think Zoom is fun like that, or maybe you're using a Mac. I think that's some settings you need to enable. But it's fine.
Okay, okay, cool. So my name is Godson Ukaegbu, and I find myself in many shoes these days, and I think it helps to give them a broad perspective on art. Shadowing can you can mix fashion, art, filmmaking, and other things together. And when you look at life or the arts in general, you find that there's a thread that connects them together. Everything is really everything. Everything is curated in a way. When you look at how the day begins, there is a sunset, there is high noon, and then there is a sunrise. There's something that connects everything in simplicity. And that makes it kind of simple to understand. I'll give you another example. When you go to a club or you go to church or you praise and worship, there is a way the choir master or the chorister links each song together. There is a background bass that the song, a background rhythm that the song that tie are tied into. That's subtle curation. I'm going to break things down for us today. I'm going to break it down to its essence, such that after this class or this talk, You can appreciate what a curator does. You can understand the energy and the spirit and the mind behind it. You can understand it beyond just what is a fixture or what you see in gallery walls. You see it in your everyday life. And that's what my talk today will be about. There are layers of um, thoughts outside the gallery that helps us understand what happens in the gallery. So I'll start with that today with saying creation is simple, but this is the hard part. It's easy, but there's a hard part to it, and it's that hard part I want to try to break down for us. And I think in the next couple of minutes it will be somewhere. I have a very very sparse presentation. I'm going with the simplicity energy of Steve Jobs. You know that what I mean when I go to the next slide. But my name is Godson Ukaegbu, Vascan. Thank you for this opportunity. Let's do this. So the next slide. Okay, okay. The next slide. So the next one says one. You don't count from one, you count to one. I will explain. It's very easy to misconstrue what creation is. And I've come to understand in my journey as a curator that you must find a particular subject, a particular inquiry, and then assemble things to carry that reverb. You can say one thing many ways. Your job is to see the spirit behind things and see how they connect together. What am I saying? There is a lot that happens in curation. And one of the things you must know as a curator that I've learned is you must know how to care. You must know how to listen. You must know how to understand the politics of things, and you must understand that there's emotional labor that goes into curating. It's almost a thankless job, but it is something that is worth it. And when it is done properly, done well, you don't see the curator. I'll explain as we go along. So what I mean by we don't count from one, you count to one. You need to, for example, I did a show recently in last 2 months, I guess, March, last 3 months, and it was called Catharsis. And you will think that that word came out from just me being smart or intelligent or just trying to. No, but it was my own way of trying to express a deep feeling inside of me, and then art becomes a vehicle for that. What does this mean? In choosing the players, the actors, the artists to use to express this, I have to understand that I have a feeling, I have a subject, and that subject is my lens, is my guide. But how did I choose the artist to tell the narrative of characters? First thing that I had to do was I had to know that I'm converging all their works into one central idea. I'm converging all their work to know exactly which artist to work with. I'm breaking it down to us, so I'll take it slowly. What informed me to know which artist to feature in that stuff? There's something you must know instinctively as a curator. It is the visual philosophy of the artist you want to work with. Your eye must be on the lookout for what is the pregnant emotion, energy inherent in the artist, and how does it play in concert with a theme? The theme is the one thing you're trying to do. When I've done my hand like this right now, is one, right? But there are five fingers. These are the artists, yeah? But the idea is one thing. You don't count from one, you count to one. Five artists, three artists, 12 works, 30 works, they must speak one. When you get that one right, there is a punch. An emotional resonance happens in the gallery hall, and it's how to bring that about. I'll take my time. I'll break it down for you to understand. I got here by asking the right questions, I think, because somebody almost made me give up on curating at this very early stage of it already. You know, the very early stage of it, and it became for me, it became a trying time to update myself on what. It's so simple. It's so simple. You can hang works on the wall, and without meaning, people might not get it, but they will see something beautiful that's just like what Patrick has said. They will see something very. It doesn't resonate. It doesn't say much, but it's beautiful to look at. Your job as the curator is to be a merchant of meaning. To be how do you take people out of their body and put them in their soul? That's your job. Life is busy, life is fast, life is unforgiving. But when they come to an exhibition, your job is to make stillness a goal and then make them confront themselves, make their soul begin to wake up, begin to feel something. You do that or you arrive at that by understanding the power of one. There are five artworks in the exhibition called My Hand. There are five artworks in the exhibition called My Hand. But these five must be called not fingers, must be called a hand or a punch. Does it make sense to us? I wish I had an audience, but I want to get it. So I'm taking it very slowly, very slowly. You must understand what one means. Your title of your show is your one. If you're saying, let's assume you use a word like black. Black can mean many things. Black can mean many things. Your job as a curator is to find the artists, or if it's one artist, find the works in that body of work that explains black in the many ways it's possible. Nothing is one thing. There are many ways to describe one thing, but they must arrive at one thing. They must arrive at one thing. Once you get that one thing right, then there is resonance. There is something that can be jot out of the exhibition room, and then something happens to the minds and the pulse of people. I'm just going to go around again, go slowly, 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 and get us home. Right? So, this is the second slide. Let's go to the second one. Curation is about relationships. Find the exclamation points. My first incursion into curation was you go into a room and you ask yourself, why was a particular work put first? Why was another put second? Why was another one put third? What what made you put that one fourth? From the film background, they tell you that writing the script is the first level of writing. Directing the script is second level of writing. Editing the rushes is the third level of writing. So the writer is the first writer. The director, the second writer. The editor is the third writer. Editing is writing. Directing is writing. Why is editing writing? I'll explain. Because you are putting things together with an intention, with a meaning. Scenes come together with a meaning. Look at my hand like this. The reason why this hand is this God's design gives us curation, how to arrange things already like this. So the more I look at the world, the more I see what God has done, and I'm like, God is the perfect curator. The design of our faces, of our hands, of things around us, if we look at them closely, they are screaming creation. They are screaming meaning. They are screaming intent. They are screaming ease. They are screaming performance. They are screaming productivity. When you fall sick, there's a shutdown of something. So you must take your healthy self as a well curated self and give thanks to God for that. Mind you, I said I'm going to break this thing down to its essence. I want you to start to respect curators from today, artists. When I break it down to its essence, you understand the gravity of what we do. You understand the labor of love that goes into what we do. You understand the length, the breadth, and how we stretch ourselves emotionally to make another person see what your work has done, what your work can do, what is possible to do. You need to understand this thing. So I'll break it very easily. Curation is our relationships of two or three types of relationships. The first one is, what is the rapport between works? What is the signal or energy level, energy communication between two works? That's number one. Number two is, what is the relationship between the philosophy of each artist or each work together? For example, I think the most difficult work to do is a good exhibition because there's chaos. You don't need to find the sanity in that. How do you manage the proclivities of these superstars, as I would like to call them, artists? How do you manage? How do you manage? How do you manage how they behave? How do you manage what they do? When you're a curator, people think being a curator means that you are the top of the food chain, as in the art industry. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. That nurse that you like to go to give you injections as a child. Why you chose that nurse? Why you chose that particular person to give you that injection? Even though it's going to be painful, but you choose that particular person. What she does to your emotions is what a curator does to you as well too. What do I mean by that? There is a particular way a good curator understands the work of an artist that they feel like they are co-creating the work and they feel comfortable with the curator. An artwork is a child. A curator is doing omobo, is doing midwife work with your work. An artwork is a child. You entrust that work to another person to help put it to the world in the best light possible. Does that make sense to us, please? I'm breaking it down to the granular parts without using big words or big curation and registers to explain it. Your artwork is a child. It's precious. It needs reverence. The curator is doing omogo. You know what omogo is? Every 3 months after a child is born, the mother comes to take care of a child and to ease the mother of the pain of labor and everything and put mother and child back in position. That role of omogo playing is what the curator does. You must understand what we do. That role of care, of being tender, of using the right, all the possible to exaggerate what you have done to the world is what the artist does. What the curator does, rather. A curator is like a nurse, the one you run to give you injection because you are safe in their hands. Your work is safe in their hands. Your nakedness is safe in their hands. How do you now manage different artists who think they're superstars? Some who think they are this. I found something recently. Strong artists, yeah, are more difficult to work with. Artists who know they are strong, who know their work are strong, are quite difficult to work with. But the master artists are quite easier to work with. I can't tell you what a strong artist and a master artist is on this platform. It's beyond the scope of this conversation, but I will explain that if need be. But that's what I find from my experience. How do you manage the strong artist, the master artist, the emerging artist? How do you do that? They all have exclamation points. I put it here, I said, everybody is crazy. The artist is mad about being crazy. How do you connect those things? You have to care. You have to care. You have to understand the insanity of the artist and understand they are always in labor. They are always in labor. That takes an emotional toll on the curator. If you are impatient, you cannot sell. Your job is to sell. There are exclamation points in their character as well. So they will open you to their world. How do you handle access? How do you bring that energy you felt in their presence for the world to see? Those things are not said. They are things that happen outside the gallery walls. Your job is to pack all those things together and present that to the world or to an audience and guide them towards the work. I want to say more, but I'll go on to the next slide. The purpose of creation is twofold: immersion and resonance. And when I began curating a gallery called and said, "Oh, Godson, um, we like the way you see." Let me give you an instance of how I started, so it um, gives you an idea. So I'll go to galleries, and the first thing I'm looking for in the gallery I go to, or should I go to, is where is the statement? That's the first I'm looking for, because I don't really want to see the works first. I want a lens with which to see the work. Have you ever listened to a song, a jazz song, and that song has a title, and there are no words in the jazz song, just instruments, but it has a title? How did the work get a title? How did that work get a title? You need a lens to understand what happens there. I look for the work of the curator on the wall and I read it. Then I go to the institutions and I go to the wall. There was no pattern on the wall. The works were beautiful, yes. They were arranged like in a home setting, yes. But there was no reverb to me. I needed an excursion of sorts to lead me, to guide me in that space. So what I usually do is this: I go to a gallery, I don't see a statement, I look through the works, write a statement about the exhibition, and write a full review of the exhibition and give the gallery for free. Because I cannot sleep at night. I'll go to a place and I'll not have that journey. So I feel if I'm feeling this way, someone else will feel this way. So I did that over time, just like my weekend way of decompressing from other things I do besides art curation. And that was how the director said, "Got to, you know what, come curate this show for us." And I was like, really, why? Why me and all? And then they present the artist work to me. And the key for it was, we must have red tags. So I'm like, wait, what do you think curation is? You think about red tags? They told me, see, all your grammar, all your Turanchi must lead us to selling works. I would not blame them. It's a gallery. Rents are expensive. In Korea today, rent per year is like 25 million naira. You need to sell to stay afloat. You need to make business. But we confuse the industry of emotions with commerce. We forget that when it is done right, sales will come by default. When we place commerce before soul, we lose something. We lose memory. We lose the purity of what the artist is saying. So I need a deal. I say, you know what? Let's do this. Don't pay me. Let me love this artist's work. Let me feel at his work, and let me describe this artist, and let's let's do it. Whatever happens after the show, building it for is up to you. I have to learn how to disconnect myself from feelings, from challenges, or creating to make work, to make to to understand that the work has to go through this first solo show in Nigeria. And I just saw the works, about 25 works or so. My job was so I just saw the works and I could feel this artist energy. I knew where it was coming from. And I wrote a three-page um, critical review on his work. And Gary sent it to him. He was like, who is this person? You've not seen me before. You haven't talked before, but you get me. How do you do it? How did you get it? I said, your work represents you. Your soul is on your work. My job is I can see your soul in your work. So don't thank me. I'm not doing anything fantastic. You have done your job to put your story, your pain, your trauma, your journey, your future, or your proposed future, and what means something to you on your works. And I've seen a body of work. So I can see you without seeing you. He said, Godson, you've been a creator, and I'm going to work with you. And that was a shocker. But it came from not thinking of the red dot. I learned, first of all, I must create resonance between myself and the artist's work, first of all. It is that resonance I'm going to now share with the world that will now create resonance. What work do you use as the opening work for the exhibition or the catalog? It was so strange that the work I chose for the catalog opener had 5 people fighting for it. Why did I choose that particular one? Go back to our first slide. That particular one held was the arm that held all the works together. So if they bought that one work, they bought the idea of the exhibition. These things happen outside the gallery walls. You don't see it. And then we'll put it in a place where it commands attention that it's supposed to have. I had to understand how to read the works. Some works have a punch. Some works are works for the last. Some works are works you hide even during the exhibition. And when it is over, some guests will ask, what is more? You now bring it out. It starts, first of all, with understanding the soul of the artist. What are they trying to say? What are they trying to tell the world? It doesn't start with the red dot. It starts with immersion. You must find ways to immerse the audience into what others is saying. It's when there's immersion and there's resonance, money comes out. And those who buy the work based on immersion and resonance, they often cherish the work and don't sell the work. To them, it's not a business proposal. It's not a business. It's not a product that will hang for a while. They can see how the work connects to their history, to their story. Your job is to present the sermon the artist is trying to say to the world in the clearest terms possible. In the clearest terms possible. How do you do this? You start sometimes with the statement. I went to a show recently and I was a bit disappointed, not because anything was wrong, but I feel that we don't, as curators, we don't understand our role. The statement had comments about who the curator was, their TED talk, where they went to school, and I'm like, for real? And the artist became the last sentence in the statement. But nobody has taught us how to do this, or nobody has given us the idea because we've taught that curation is selection and arrangement. It is way beyond that. It is way beyond that. It is way beyond that. What you should look for, what is a telltale sign of a good curation work is the kind of feedback you get afterwards. the kind of feedback you get afterwards. For catharsis, then on the last day of the show, somebody walked into the show, read the statement, and she was like, my journey of my life so far is explaining in each paragraph. When I was this year old, is this paragraph. When I was this year old, the end of the paragraph is where I am right now. And then she goes around the exhibition space and she starts to cry. She cannot afford the work, but she felt seen. She felt like she knows what she's going to do next. The work gave her next season, unlocked her next season without me saying any word. I only explained how the works are, how I've arranged it, and what it means to me, and where I'm coming from as well too. When you get such resonance from an exhibition, you're successful. I can tell you the fact, you're successful because you've translated meaning, you have transferred meaning. An exhibition is first a sermon. It is first it's first soul food. You know how you eat food for the body? You consume art for the soul. And when you have a good curator, a good portfolio of artists together and is well presented, you are giving the soul like a 12-course meal. You're giving the soul like a 12-course meal. They are spot for choice and they are seeing different things in the eyes of of their mind. You can't tell how far those things will go to them. Some came to the show and they say, oh, now I know I have to quit my job. I'm like, how do you get that from an exhibition? Because there was honesty in how it was curated. Some came up and said, I now know how to give back to where I grew up from. I have to put amount of money and give back. Some came to the show and began to give a charity goods and gifts to help stuff. It touched a part of them that was missing. That's the job of curation. The body wants pleasure, the soul wants meaning. Your job as a curator is to be a merchant of meaning. Find ways to attack it, find ways to immerse the audience or the people into a feeling. For example, if I'm doing an all women's show and the topic of conversation or the topic or the thought is something like example like um emancipation and stuff. A way to bring that to you to your soul. I might use this choice of songs and play in the background. It might be all female artists, different generations. Try to reinforce the idea of women in lyrics, women in poetry that express the same thing with what is happening there. Because the work is static, it has its energy, but you have to lead people. Let me put it this way: a curator is an usher in a church. You turn your hand this way and they go this way, they sit this way. Your job is to use different things to turn them to where they should go to. You must know where they're going, where they should go to as a curator. That's primarily your job. You must have a very, very, very clear understanding of where they should be going to. Then leave the job, leave the rest for them to enjoy themselves. People are going through stuff, and the elixir for us is not who buys the work, but who connects with the work, whose life changes by seeing an exhibition. I had to ask the person to send me a testimonial afterwards. When I read that stuff and I showed the artist that were in the show, they said, Godson, don't you think you did all this work for just this one person? It's deep, guys. It's deep. But don't look at the red tags. They will come naturally. Naturally. It's like when you move a car, the exhaust will come out. Just move the car. Move the car, first of all. Let the engine rev. The, the fumes will come out, you know. But you must treat it with honesty. You must treat the exhibition with clarity. You must manage emotions. You must manage things, manage how the artists are feeling, and then translate with care to the world. You're a midwife. You should not miscarry the ideas given to you by the artist. It is that care you carry that brings the emotional distress on you as good as well too. Something happens to you when you curate an exhibition. Something changes. It's if you are honest with yourself as a curator, something unlocks inside of you. You are softer by default. You are calmer. You think you feel small compared. You are carrying the weight of anger, trauma, joy, pain, journeys to share with the world. There's so much in that. We must take it seriously, and push for more. Immersion and resonance. There are ways to get there. There are five senses. Your job is to use your five senses to go to the soul. You don't use wine and small chops to now sell works. No, no. That is talk to the body to calm down. But you must look for ways, and you have the five senses. There's music, there is smell, there are other things you can use. But first of all, there's the writing, and there is the space and how you arrange stuff. There should be something that is thought out in how you present the works. Your job is to connect to the soul. Like saying, I've given you in natural terms. In natural terms, it's like saying, I'm inviting you to come and eat a 12-course meal, and I close the door, and I close your nose throughout the experience. Your job is to open your nose to say, this is pistachio, this is oregano, this is breadcrumb, this is one of one bread. This is your job is to open their nose to see what is on the table. How you do that becomes your own philosophy as well too. It's up to you. Choose what you want. It starts from my experience.
Godson, are you there? We can't hear you. Hello, Godson. I think we lost him. Let's give him a few moments to join back. Please, while we wait, if you have any questions, comments, observations, please drop them in the chat. We'll be taking those questions with both speakers once Godson is done.
Yeah, I think I'm back here.
Oh, okay, okay. I think you can maybe take it from where we're talking about origami. Like, just
About
go
what?
back a minute or so. About origami. I think you mentioned something about origami. If you can just take it back a minute or so.
Okay, okay. I said it's like taking you through. Let me go back. Let me do full screen of this. I was here, yeah. So I said it's like
Yes.
it's like going stay on, follow me,
Oh,
stay on.
okay.
So
Okay.
just stay with me. So I say it's like going into a 12-course meal
Yeah.
event, and I close your nose all through.
Yeah.
You can see the food, but you cannot smell, you cannot savor it, you cannot decipher the smells. You can say this is oregano, This is chives. This is rosemary leaf. This is ugu. This is efotete. You can see, but you cannot smell it because that gives you another layer of sensation. Your job as a curator is to open our senses to see the feast before our eyes and see how we connect to our soul and how it takes us to a journey that we might have forgotten. The job is to bring back to memory, to bring you back to memory. That's the idea of curation, is to rejig memory. That's something that work already of giving you ideas and putting that pain there. You now make sense of it. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes, it does.
Have I collapsed that now?
Yes, yes, you have.
So you can go off now. So you can go off now. Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah. Next slide, synonyms. So to make it, I'm almost done. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm almost done. To make it easy for us to understand what curation is, if you ever went to school or did WAEC and you know what an opposite, what an antonym, what an synonym, then you understand what, at the basic level, what curation is. You are trying to pair similar things together because when they are together, there is more muscle and strength of impact. They share energies together and they are more heightened. Two is better than one. Because they have more reward for their labor. That's the psychology of it. So some works go well together based on different things, texture, similarity, based on the same stroke, based on color profile, based on several things. Instinctually, the exhibition, the creator knows how to connect based and only based on meaning, not on beauty or aesthetics or how it feels like. Is it close to a window? No, 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 no. We are focused on meaning, not how it looks alone. There's a deeper level of aesthetics. That is meaning. There's a deeper level to it, but you have to pass through that sometimes. Sometimes pass through sometimes to get to meaning. Your job is to look for meaning. So what works go together? Let me ask you a question. You all dress up. We all dressed up, right? Why do you look at the mirror sometimes to check what goes with what? I'm going to Owambe. You're asking what's the color code of the space, right? They are trying to understand how to put this to this, what to work with this. There are rules that guide how men should dress. Oh, brown belt with brown shoes. You know, if you have a plain collar shirt and the clothes is busy, you can wear a busy tie because there are rules that guide what comes to what comes next. That is the game the creator plays. That's the last thing that happens. But we make it the first thing that happens. Who arrange the rocks? Who pick the rocks? Those are base layers. How do you know a very good DJ? How do you know a very good DJ? Every DJ that is normal DJ plays based on tempo. Oh, this work. The best DJs, they pick a word or a phrase from a particular song and they pair that same word with other words in other tracks outside the tempo. They find a title from and they submit the tempo to that word. And when that happens to you, people are like, oh my God, you have left the body and gone to the soul. There's now meaning. How do I learn that how to curate? When I was younger, I used to listen to radio a lot, a whole lot. The best OAPs are like this. They don't just play songs, they play history. They rejig history. If they play a Laurie Hill, they will pick the moment, what she's trying to say with that particular song, and other artists who are saying the same thing in different ways, and that becomes a playlist. But today we just play songs that flow together, and then just aimlessly, blindlessly, we just dance to it. I'm saying this this thing called cooperation is in everything. It's in nature, it's in how we do our things every day. and it's about synonyms. What works together? What is that one whole that connects to other things? See my hand. One, show title. Five, the works. How do they go? Which one becomes first? Which one is first? Which one is next? Which one is third? Our hand is created. Our hand is created, and God is awesome. It's from Him we learn these things. You know, the more you look at your anatomy and everything, you will find reasons to be grateful. I just understand that and bring that into the life with care and respect for the artist and their work and their mind. I believe strongly that the money will come. The money always comes second, not first. What is curation? This is my last page. It's about pairing philosophies. If you watch closely, I've explained curation here from the first thing I did today. Let me go back to the first stuff. I put the O's. I chose words that have zero, only one zero in them, and I blinded it. Right? Next page. Black. I use one. Red here. Red here. Gray here. This is curation. There is thought that goes into it. There is meaning that goes into it. The curator is sought most of all. You must be hidden, but as well as being the active ingredient in the work happening. That's what I put in the white here. The gray here, the artist about synonyms. I'm blending things together. Black, white, how do they meet at the same place? And in art, a red tag like this is sold. I've just explained to you guys what it means to curate stuff, even with my my little 6 page slide here. I hope with these 3 points of mine, I've been able to improve what you know about curation. My name is Godson. Thank you very much.